After your own brutal encounter with a sociopath, you can now identify them. You know what they do, and that whomever they're doing it to will be damaged. So, when you see it happening, is there anything you can do to help? I'm Donna Andersen, author of Lovefraud.com, and today I'm going to talk about what you need to consider when you want to help or protect someone else. Okay, let's get started. I once heard from a woman who realized that her work supervisor was probably disordered. The love fraud reader was hired by a school system to work one-on-one with a special needs child. But what she was directed to do made no sense. She asked the school's professionals about their therapy, since in her experience, it was inappropriate for the child's needs. They seemed uncomfortable and never really answered her. The supervisor, in the meantime, became belligerent. The love fraud readers saw that the supervisor was controlling, the professionals were intimidated, and the child was not receiving the right care. The love fraud reader was so upset that she took medical leave, and the supervisor asked her to resign. She became unemployed. After describing her experience, our love fraud reader asked, "Do we really just stand by and let these people hurt children, innocent disabled children, workers underneath them, and look the other way?" This is the most frustrating and disheartening aspect of learning what sociopaths are. Now we can identify them. We know what they are doing. We know that whomever they're doing it to will be damaged. And we feel like we can't stop the exploiters. Sociopaths, through charm, deceit, and ruthlessness, ensconce themselves in positions of power, whether it's in a work environment, an organization, a social network, or a family. Their objective is always to maintain power and control. Dr. George K. Simon explains this in his book called Character Disturbance. He describes multiple personality patterns, including aggressive personalities, which could include people with antisocial personality disorder or malignant narcissism. Dr. Simon says that aggressive personalities strive for the dominant position at all times and in all circumstances. This premise is really hard for the average person to understand, let alone accept. He points out that for most of us, it's incomprehensible to conceive that in every situation, every encounter, every engagement, the aggressive personality is predisposed to jockey for the superior position, even if there is no recognizable need to do so. Because we don't understand and accept this, Dr. Simon says, aggressive personalities often succeed in their objective to gain advantage over others. In other words, sociopaths manipulate their way to dominant positions and then continue to manipulate in order to stay there. The longer they are in these dominant positions, the more power they accumulate, and the less others are willing to go up against them. And then we come along, perceive the dynamic, see the damage, and want to do something about it. Now, I am all for exposing sociopaths in any way possible. I want to hold them accountable. I want justice for the people they victimize. I want to prevent them from hurting anyone else. But I suggest that before you take any action, make sure you understand what you are dealing with. Here are some points to keep in mind. Number 1, sociopaths are ruthless in the pursuit of their objectives. They will cajole, lie, cheat, or bully, whatever gets them what they want. They do not care about following the rules, protocol, or even the law. If sociopaths decide it's more convenient to stay within the law, they may go right up to the edge, but not break it. Sociopaths are experts at operating in the gray areas. Number 2, people around the sociopath are likely already compromised. The sociopath has probably lined up allies, or at least people who are afraid to go against him or her. These people have been brown-nosed, bought off, or intimidated. Number 3, you may already be compromised. If a sociopath is preparing to discard you or perceives you as a threat, he or she may have launched a smear campaign, convincingly expressing concern about your behavior or mental stability to everyone you know. By the time you approach them with your concerns, they are primed to discount whatever you say. Number 4, the authorities may not act. Unless a law has clearly been broken, the police won't do anything. And unless a case can be proven and won in court, a prosecutor won't file charges. Also, whether law enforcement or any other authority decides to look into a matter may depend on the organization's politics. And number 5, sociopaths relish confrontation and view it as a game to win. Even if you manage to get the person in court or some other arbitration venue, he or she will put on an incredible performance using tears, righteous indignation, whatever, in order to come out on top. And they are very, very good at it. This is all really depressing. Do we really want to just stand by watching sociopaths run rampant from one victim to the next? Here's the most important thing to keep in mind when contemplating exposing a sociopath. Your first responsibility is to yourself. So here are some considerations. Are you in a position of strength? Your physical safety is important, but you also need to be concerned about your financial, reputational, and legal safety. When the sociopath counterattacks, which he or she will do, can you withstand it? If you can't engage a sociopath head-on, can you do anything covertly? Maybe you can quietly tell people what the sociopath is really like and let word of mouth take over. If you decide to take on the sociopath, you'll need 2 things: irrefutable evidence of the sociopath's behavior and nerves of steel. Many love fraud readers have no choice but to face the sociopath in court. If you do, you'll need to stay cool, calm, and collected, and professional at all times. The sociopath will most likely try to get an emotional reaction out of you. Do not react. It's like feeding the beast. Perhaps it's too dangerous for you to try to expose the particular sociopath that you tangled with. It doesn't mean you have to stay totally silent on the subject. Whenever an opportunity arises, teach people the basic truths about sociopaths. They exist and they are destructive. Learn the signs of sociopathic behavior and explain them to others. If we raise the general awareness of these predators, there will be fewer victims for them to victimize. Finally, here's something you may be able to do to help the targeted individuals. Believe them. I've spoken to a lot of people who have been deceived, manipulated, and abused by sociopaths. Often, their stories are so outrageous that their friends, family, and co-workers don't believe them. Even some uninformed therapists are skeptical. Of course, one big reason for this is that the sociopath has been running a smear campaign, telling everyone that the target is crazy. the targets often start to wonder, in fact, if they are crazy. So, if you have an opportunity, perhaps you could just listen sympathetically to the target. Suggest that the abuser may have a serious personality problem. Send the target to Lovefraud, where so many people have told stories that may sound just like what he or she is experiencing. I know for a fact that being believed brings many people a sense of relief. So if nothing else, perhaps you can simply offer validation. If you ever need assistance, you'll find it at Lovefraud. We have thousands of articles, including many people telling their personal stories. So you'll probably find something like what you've gone through. We have webinars by therapists and other experts to help you escape and recover. And of course, I'm always happy to work with you one-on-one. I can offer you practical advice and help ease your stress. Just go to lovefraud.com/talk to Donna. Even after the sociopath, full recovery is possible. Lovefraud is here to help you.